the Yahweh Shemi outside, the power of Israel, saying, write all these words that I have spoken unto thee in the book. It says, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord, when I'll bring again the captivity, right, of my people, Israel and Judah. Now, it doesn't say these other nations, man. Okay, that's not an inclusive term. That wasn't an inclusive statement. That was an exclusive statement. Okay, all right, that was an exclusive statement. Matter of fact, if I could find the precept right quick. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it in Hebrews the 8th chapter, because you got some individuals out there that, because they're so retarded, all right. They'll say, "Oh, that was the God of the Old Testament." Like the Most High changed it. You said it yourself, man. I am the Most High. Okay, I changed not. Okay, so that you sons of Jacob are not consumed, man. Because the Most High changed. Hey, we was gonna be consumed by our iniquity, man. Our iniquity was going to be consumed. Let's examine that statement. Let's examine that statement for a moment. Okay, I am the Most High. Lord, that's what Lord said. Lord said, I am the Most High. I change not. Okay, why? Because the Most High established the Lord's statutes and commandments with us. Okay, now if He changed in that He was going to love another, well, the curses are still upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? For the most part, right? Saving you got the comfort of the Scriptures, all right, and the hope in Yahweh side that when Yahweh side returns, He's going to remove those curses from us. Now check it out. If the Most High had changed, we was going to be consumed. Why? Because those curses were set up to basically destroy the whole house of Jacob and the whole house of Jacob, man. Right, Judah and Israel. It was going to consume them, man. All right, but because the Most High is that consistency, He has that consistency, man. All right, what He says is what He says, and what He does is what He does. All right, He doesn't change, He doesn't go left or right. He's the ultimate man, because really that's how a man's supposed to be, in that a man's supposed to be true to his word, man. That's why the Scripture says, I have magnified my word above my name, in that there is nothing else He can magnify above, man. Meaning to say what He says is going to happen, man. That's why the Scripture talks about so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me until it has accomplished that whereunto it pleaseth me. Okay, what was part of that word? Esau's going to be destroyed. Okay, they're going to be bound and burnt and completely obliterated, man. Okay, you got it to where right, you got it to where the Most High prophesied how He's going to raise up the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. He's going to set them up on high. But the Scripture says in the book of what is it? Deuteronomy 7th chapter on the 6th verse, man. All right, how it talks about, Jacob, thou art a holy people unto me. All right, and thou art above all people upon the face of the earth, man. So hey, when the Lord comes back, that's gonna be manifested, man. That prophecy gonna come to pass, man. Okay, where am I? So this is the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter, because the Scripture says here. Oh no, I was making the point that you got some individuals that say that's the God of the, that's the God of the all time. The Scripture says Lord doesn't change. Now here's the proof of that. Hebrews the 8th chapter in the 8th verse. It says, for finding fault with them, He saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I'll make a covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, and not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them out of the land, right, to lead them out of Egypt, because they continue not in that covenant, and I regarded them not. So we're in that time right now with the Lord. Pretty much, the Scripture talks about how the Lord did away with Israel, man. But He left a remnant that was going to serve Him, man. Okay, just like how in the time was it Elisha, he said, I forget, it might have been Elijah or Elisha, but it was a certain prophet that had said that pretty much he had said, Lord, it's only me that I say. It might have been Ezekiel. It's only me that said. And the Lord said, Lord, I reserved unto me 1,000 that I have not bowed the knee to Baal, man. Okay, so the Most High has always had it to where He had a remnant of righteous men that don't take heed to the wicked, man. Okay, they're not persuaded in the devices of the wicked, man. They're not seduced by the ways of the heathen, man. Okay, and we hope to be the part of that number, the part of that remnant. All right, and now according to the word, brother, for this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I'll put my laws into their mind, and write them upon their hearts, and I'll be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. So in that time, the Lord was going to happen to where we was going to be a return unto the Lord, and that was going to be manifested throughout the earth. Okay. Now, where is the point? Right, the point is in the 10th verse. It says, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, all right, after those days, and I'll put, saith the Lord, and I'll put their laws into their, into my laws into their mind." Right, so who does it say? It doesn't say the house of Israel and all the people upon the face of the earth. It says the house of Israel. That's why when we was in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, Romans the 9th chapter pretty much told you it best when it said, to whom pertaineth, who are Israelites, okay, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the covenants, okay, so both the first covenant, we understood that was made between the Most High by way of blood, okay, made between the Most High, okay, and the house of Israel, and now you got the same thing happening now again, okay, where the Most High is re-establishing that because he found fault with us, we were subject unto creatures. How you doing? Where you from? Could care less, man. That's a woman for you. Okay. According to the first covenant, because we was hard-headed, we was a creature made unto subject unto vanity, right? So therefore we was growing up with all of that, right? But this covenant is going to put his laws within our minds, and we're going to be perpetually right. That's why the scripture talks about the covenants pertaining to the Israelites. So all of these heathens talking about we're part of that. No, you're going crazy, man. The Gentiles that it was talking about within the scriptures, all right, was the diaspora, man, the scattered. Now let me quickly jump on that. Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, right? Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the 64th verse. All right, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 64. It says, "Therefore, right, the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto another, and there ye shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So you was gonna have to where Jake was gonna be dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. They were gonna come looking up at like other different nations and all of that. Okay, and that's where you get the thing of the Gentiles and people misconstrued. What's more logical? The Most High is dealing with the same people that he was dealing with from the foundations of the earth, and the ones that he had dispersed amidst those different nations was gonna come back to the lot, or he was just gonna choose other heathen nations, man. Okay, the scriptures is plain and simple, man. Okay, back to the Jeremiah the 30th chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, "For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, and I'll cause them to return to the land which I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it." Okay. Now for that, I'm gonna go to the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, Isaiah the 14th chapter, and also to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, but I'm gonna start in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, because we can elaborate on those particular points in that. Okay, start off with the book of Joel. Let's get it. It's the book of Joel. Bear with me, sorry, Salakia. We're right there, and this is going to be in the book of Joel. Yeah, there we go. Book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, and the 1st verse. All right, and it says, "Behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." Right. So when the Most High was gonna when the Most High basically was gonna redeem his people from amidst the nations. Okay, this was what was gonna happen. So this was gonna be this is like an indicator of how and when the Lord was gonna return and redeem his people from amidst the nations, man. Okay? Right? And that's because when we went into the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, it said, "For lo, in that day I'll return again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," right? So back in Joel the 3rd chapter, it says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's what you're seeing play out up on the face of the earth. The Most High is basically, right, taking all of these different people, man, all right, and he's bringing them into the valley of decision, man. Okay, he's bringing them all together, okay, and they're going to go up to war against each other. That's what's playing out upon the face of the earth to fulfill what it was written within the scriptures. One war is past, another will come, and then you was going to have the third war, man, which is the third time of destruction, man. Okay, all right, and that's going to be what's known within right now in modern day terms, the Third World War. That's what's going to play out upon the face of the earth. But that's all that they could mutually destroy each other, and that factor they don't factor in the 12 tribes of Israel is going to be the ultimate winners of that. As a matter of fact, when I go to the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, one of my favorite scriptures, man. Okay, Daniel, the 2nd chapter, a little bit before this, Daniel 2:44, it says, in the days of these kings, all right, the days of the same kings that it's talking about within the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, okay, all of these different nations, in the days of those kings, all right, so the Most High, okay, of heaven, the God of heaven, set up a kingdom, so the Most High is going to be, effectively, the Lord's doing it now, man. Effectively, the Lord's doing it now. That's why the Most High, that's why the elders are so apt to encourage a kingly, what's the words I'm looking for? Conduct, man. Right, a conduct that's you know as written about within the scriptures. You have guys out there that are on some worldly tip, man. Okay, they're on some worldly tip about this thing, but really you're supposed to be looking like the Most High is basically the Most High basically setting you up, hopefully to be a king and a priest, because the scripture talks about how that we was going to be a nation of kings and priests unto Yahweh Shimi outside, man. So that's what you should be looking, really focusing it, trying to lock in on, man. Now, obviously, you got to do it in humility, because the other side of it is you got dudes out there that they come into this thing and learn a whole bunch of scriptures and a whole bunch of breakdowns. Okay, they become damn near a video reel machine, right, for this truth, quote unquote. But they never have no foundation set for when that adversity comes. Hey, the Most High shakes them dudes out of this place because they were proud, man. Okay, so let's get back into this scripture here within book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter on the 44th verse. He shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, but it shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the Most High is going to make us a new threshing instrument, man. Okay, for you different nations out there, he's going to make us a new threshing instrument, all right? And we're going to crash and devour all of them different nations, man, all right? You think Esau, with all his pride that he comes up against the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you think that's going to just what, last forever, perpetually? Okay? All right, so this is back in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, and the 2nd verse. It says, I'll start from the 1st verse. For behold, in those days and in that time, I'll bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I'll also gather all nations, and I'll bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. So as the Most High, you're seeing the Most High gather all of these nations together, man, you should be thinking, wait, hold on a minute. This is also should be the time when the Most High is gathering his people. And you're seeing that happening throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Okay, brothers standing up, pushing this work, getting down, man. Okay? Brothers is getting down all over the place, man. Right? Kicking this work, man. Okay? In humility and sincerity, because you got guys out there that are on some proud tip, man. Okay? They want to appease their own emotions, man. They want to appease their desires to be a somebody. You ain't got to be. There's already a somebody, man. There's already that guy. That was your Howard Shai, man. That was the Lord, because when the Lord came on the scene, he became the ultimate God, because he was the man, the entity, the power, all right? Right, that the Most High had set up to where his name was above all other names, man. All you had to do is fall in line, okay? Present yourself and present your body as a living sacrifice and acceptable and meet unto the Yahweh Shimi outside, and the Most High was going to have it to where you might receive mercy if you're of the elect, man. Okay, rather, you will receive mercy if you're of the elect, man. Okay? Let's get back onto the scriptures right here. It says here, I will also gather all nations, and I bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I'll plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations. Because, the scattering didn't just happen with Esau, man. The Assyrians scattered the house of Israel, because Israel was taken out there into Assyria. All right, now after a period of time, they really went out to Asareth, which is America, okay, and they dwelt amongst it. But you got it to where, remnants of them were scattered all over the Middle East, in Syria and so on and so forth, man. Okay, the same thing happened with Judah, man. Judah was taken into Babylon, okay, all right, and it was dispersed amidst them, okay. But then you also had it to where a certain number returned unto Jerusalem after that period of time when they served captivity underneath the Babylonians. But that wasn't all of them, all right. Now, when the Romans came, we fled Jerusalem under Roman persecution in 70 AD when all of them Romans were coming down heavy upon Jake, man. Okay? So the scripture says how we was to flee into the mountains. As a matter of fact, the book of Revelations, the 12th chapter, and Revelations 12 and 9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, right? That old serpent, the devil, right? And Satan, who deceived the whole world, he was cast out. Let me go to the point. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, all right? Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil shall come down having great wrath, because he knoweth he has a short time, all right? And when the dragon saw, he cast out of his mouth, he was cast out of the earth. He persecuted the woman that brought forth a man-child, and unto the woman was given 2 great wings, like of a great evil, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she shall be nourished for a time and half times, right, for the face of the serpent. It says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth waters as of a flood. And that's talking about the armies that they had brought against Jerusalem, man. Okay? They came and basically brought them down. So you had it to where Jakes were being dispersed right then, man. Okay? So that's what the scripture is talking about here back in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, where it says here, I will gather all nations, right, and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I'll plead with them there for my people. The Lord ain't doing it because, the Lord's doing it because they're wicked, but he also, hey, what's up, man? He's also doing it to because what? Because they have persecuted people of the Most High, nigh close unto the Most High's heart, man. Okay? That's why the scripture says what the scripture says here, right? And I'll plead with them, and I'll gather all nations, and I'll bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Now I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. Okay? So that's judgment right there. It says, and they shall cast lots for my people, and they have cast lots for my people. Why? Because they were selling Jake into slavery, man. Okay? All that transatlantic slave wasn't no accident, man. That was instituted, one by the Most High, as judgment unto the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, for them going off on the Lord's statute commandments to the Most High, right? That's 1. 2, so that when the Most High returns, he has a even more reason to fulfill what is written within the scriptures in the book of Malachi, to where Esau is going to be completely wiped off of the face of the earth, man. Okay? Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom said, if we are impoverished, we will return and build the desolate places. So that's what Esau said, man. Okay, he saw them different, places out there, the deserts out there, the desolate waste places. He when they said it was going to return, that's what is known as the Renaissance, man. Okay, the rebirth of what? The Roman Empire. What goes to prove that it was the Roman Empire? Because you had the Treaty of Rome, which was basically instituted. Now I don't know too much about it, but I know there was a Treaty of Rome that they had set up, and that was basically the inception of what you know as the EU, man. Okay, that goes to show you it was Rome coming back again. That's why it's known as the Renaissance era, and that's why it's known within the scriptures as what? It's known within the scriptures as them saying we will return and build the desolate places. But this is what the Most High says. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, okay, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness. And why are they known as the border of wickedness? Because Esau goes over here to the right. He's going to do some wickedness, okay? He's going to destroy everybody else over there. He's going to rape all of the resources over there. He's going to do so much wickedness, okay, that the people that are probably living over there going to try to kill him, okay? He's going to go to the left. He's going to do all kind of wickedness over there, to where they're known as the border of the wickedness, man. Now, they might come under the banner of the Red Cross, right, NATO, okay? They might come as the EU, right? But they have one express purpose when they do that, okay? Which is the purpose that the Most High has incepted them for, which was to bring forth evils upon the earth, man. Doth not the scripture say if the Most High if a lion roared from the city, so the Most High sent a lion to roar, roughly paraphrasing what it says within the book of Amos. Okay? Right? The Most High said he has created the wicked for the day of evil, man. He has incepted Esau, right, which is the wicked, for the day of evil. That goes to show you that the Most High is bad, man. Okay, but see, that's because the truth was to be elevated in a lot of times. Because why? Because now, hey, the truth is seen as the dumb thing to do, man. Hey, the scripture talks about how the foolishness of preachers, man. That's seen as a low thing, man. That's seen as what's that, man? What are you doing? That's how it's seen, man. Okay. But see, now when the Most High is destroying the wicked, destroying Esau, okay, he's also elevating the Israelite man to where it's said within the book of Isaiah the 13th chapter, then shall a man be more precious than fine gold, man. Okay, because them different individuals out there, when this storm and tempest, by way of these ICBM nuclear missiles, by way of this earthquakes, right, hurricanes, because the Most High is known within the storm, the scripture talks about that. When all of that happens, okay, the only people that are not going to waver to the left or the right or anything like that, it's the same guys that were just out there pushing this work, man. Okay, because they had their foundations set upon that rock, man. Okay, right back in the book of Malachi, the first Malachi 1:4 says, "They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border. I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever." So, hey, when you're reading within these scriptures, man, and you're seeing what Esau did to the people of the Most High, you also gotta know what's gonna happen to Esau, man. Okay, when you're seeing how they cast lots for a boy and they traded, and you seen that, man. You had a little young Jake, Israelite kid, okay, and you had a slave master over here. He's got a rum, okay, and they done did the trade, man. A little Jake Israelite kid for a bottle of wine, man. Okay, well that's what the scripture says, because that's actually what happened out there, man. All right. So it says here back in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right, and I will also gather all nations, and I'll bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I'll plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations.